I think this is deep.
Welcome to the Empower Hour. We bring power to the people because the people have the power. This squad's going to entertain, enlighten, and empower y'all. I'm Queen Kaya, joined by Pharaoh Hammond Freeman and Gina the Great. But before we do anything else, like always, we're going to bless this show and our kings and queens listening.
Blessed melanated rising, my people. I hope you are having an exceptional day today. I am so grateful to life, and I'm grateful to God, our creator, and I'm grateful to our ancestors just for being present with us and for creating this amazing opportunity for us to be on air. I want to just send out the spirits of love, light, unity, strength, positivity, and great health. And I just ask that today's show, let it be very entertaining, let it be very uplifting, let it be very entertaining. Did I say entertaining? And most importantly, let it be empowering for our listeners. Hotep, amen, and ashe.
Ashe.
So, party people, so Gina the Great, how was your week?
My week was pretty great, actually. Well, I'm lying. My week was okay. I'm just gonna ask our angels in the back just to turn that just a little down. Oh, that's the opposite. All right, amazing. And then it's gone entirely. I'm gonna put it a little up. Yeah, just how do they say it? Turn my mic up, turn the music up. Yeah, we good.
It's purpose.
I mean, we...
Ouais, tu peux entendre? OK.
Oh, welcome to the bilingual show.
Ben non, c'est bilingual ici, on est à Montréal. C'est à Montréal. Bienvenue à tous nos listeners.
Nos écouteurs.
Nos listeners. Arrête ça, Gina, à Montréal, franglais.
Is it les écouteurs? Because I feel like that means headphones. You know what?
I think it does mean headphones. No, my listeners. That's the thing with being in Montreal, is that you could say English words with a French accent, and it means the word in French.
Like parking.
Exact, parking, listeners. Sorry, first of all, are we making fun of French people? Because that's not our intention. Our views are not the views of CKT. And
I thought I was missed disclaimer.
No, I'm just saying I don't offend our French people. Go ahead.
I hear you on that.
Oh, I thought that only happens when you actually don't have any of that in you. I thought, I can make fun of French people because my family's last name is Péchaud.
Oh, Péchaud? Like hot bread?
Péchaud.
Like hot bread?
Like hot bread, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really my family's last name.
I mean, I'm part Haitian, so I'm allowed.
Yeah?
I'm French, too.
There you go.
I'm a god. I make fun of everybody. Go ahead.
No, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So I have a crink in my neck. I don't know what happened. I gotta figure out how I'm sleeping, but it hurts. I can't even turn my head properly.
You need a massage? I could recommend a place. Anthony Plata, OFC member. Check him out. Restore. Sorry.
I will when everything is said and done. Like when everything's said and done and I'm moved in and life is back to normal, I'm going to have a spa day, my G. Like,
okay, so go to Restore then. Restore again. A random plug. Shout out to Restore. Sorry. It's a double plug in one
like back to back though.
No, but honestly, you're what, week 3 into this game now? This moving game?
Just week 3 of April, because honestly, it's been more than that. I'd have to say since March, it's been the grind.
Mm-hmm.
But
worth it.
Absolutely.
Good. That's what I like to hear. She
says in May when her life is back to normal.
Yes, I like that.
But something came to mind. Many years ago, actually, I have to say, my father gave me a little. Not that he gave me. He said something and it resonated with me till today, and because of that, I never asked somebody to apologize.
You never asked somebody to apologize. Okay.
Yeah, I never ask anyone to apologize, either to me or anyone else, because I believe apologies has to come from that person. If I have to ask you to apologize, it's because you didn't mean it. You don't mean to apologize.
Interesting.
Right? And that came from, I'm not talking years ago. I'm talking like a solid 15 years ago. I got into, there was a whole altercation or whatever, and someone told that person, it was me and my sister. She's going through her little rebellious teenage years at the time. Mm-hmm. And she was told, like, oh, you should apologize to your sister. And my dad's like, no. If she wants to apologize, she'll apologize, but don't tell someone to apologize for something, because if she feels sorry about it, then she'll apologize for her wrong. And she didn't apologize at the time. Now, after she got the cold shoulder and realized that she was whatever it is, she came back a week later apologizing and telling me how she loved me, she understood all these things. Right. And that apology was worth the wait, versus you telling it because you're being told to apologize and not really meaning it.
I can bring a different perspective, and actually, it's funny because we recently just went through a thing in one of my million OFC WhatsApp groups, and the conversation in the group kind of went left, and being a member of the OFC, you have to understand that like it's all kumbaya here, it's all love, but we're all individuals, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, but avec du respect, right? So you could say what you want to say, whatever be the case, but long story short is that the conversation in the group kind of went a bit left, and people didn't appreciate it. So. But now, myself being the peacekeeper that I am, and just being one of the administrators, is like I reached out to all the people who were involved, and they weren't planning on apologizing, so to speak, but I gave them a different perspective that they hadn't considered.
Right. So did you? But see, there's a difference with explaining one person's side, and there's a difference with telling them you need to apologize.
No, because we're all grown, right?
Even saying you should apologize, it should be more so like, hey, look, from what you said, what you did. This is how that made that person feel.
Right.
Now, if that person from their own self, doesn't be like, you know what, that's a shitty thing, that they felt that way, I'm actually apologetic about that, I'm going to extend an apology, that's where the extent of where it needs to be.
Okay, right.
Like, and I get that, because even, I have to say, every now and then I was like, ooh, yeah, if you did that, I would apologize at that, or I should apologize. But anybody who tells me I should apologize for something, I might think about it, but if I'm not sorry about it, I'm not going to apologize.
And I think that's fair. And I think that's fair. And I think we're saying the same thing. I think, because again, like I said, everybody's adults, so no one's imposing apologies. But I know I did bring it up, and it did bring different perspectives to people. I was like, oh, you know what? Okay, yeah. Because of that, I will apologize to the collective, because that wasn't my intention or whatever be the case. But it was that. But you're absolutely right. Like, if a person, because I even told, it's like, yo, if you don't feel like you're sorry, don't apologize. I'm not trying to make you just do something, because that's not what we're here for. Yeah. But if you understand the perspective, then cool. Mind you, if the person didn't apologize, I would be watching them kind of funny.
And that would be your right. You know what I mean? That would be your right too, because I did, and I get that too. Like, if I don't apologize, because if I'm genuinely not sorry, I'm not going to apologize to you. And if you feel a way towards me, I mean, I can't take. You are allowed to feel all your feels.
You're absolutely right.
And vice versa. And that kind of brought me back to the other point of give everyone the space that is necessary for them to show you who they are, for the good and or the bad.
Space and time, shit.
Right? Because I was looking back at some of my friendships too, and certain dynamics of relationships that I've had.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, continue. Sorry, I shouldn't continue. Just jumped right in.
You'd think I have enough family not to need friends, but with family like this, you gotta need friends too.
Need a safe space.
Balance, yeah.
Father God.
True.
You know what? Shout out to my best friend Vanessa. Thank you for being a friend.
She's awesome.
So now I was looking back at certain things, and I kind of thought back at when I'd have certain conversations, and as I grew older, like me and my friends, and actually my family too, we have very open conversation. Like sometimes we're just like, TMI, but it doesn't matter because we're friends like that, But there has been other moments when I was younger. Again, remember last week I had said ignorance is bliss, and when you're young, and then when you grow older, you gonna know. And any shame that I would have done or made somebody feel bad for whatever they have said or done or choices that they made in their life, when I was younger, I didn't give that space. So oh, you did that? Oh my God, right? And I think we always have to reserve. I think the saying is, "Don't yuck someone else's yum."
Yes.
Okay.
Right? And I
like that.
Yeah. So don't yuck someone else's yum, because everyone has the choice of living their lives. But then when you give that person the space to really feel comfortable to be who they are, then you get to really know who's in your space, as opposed to someone who's just like, when I'm around such and such, I got to put on this facade. I have to put on this representative, if you will. So I think if we give everyone the time and space to really acknowledge who they are and let them be who they are, you can actually build true friendships that are genuine and not have to feel like you're fake.
I love that. I love
That's how my week went. Oh, sorry. Last shout out. So sorry, guys.
No, it's a Gina show. What do you think?
Shout out to my other best friend, Sheldon. It was his birthday on April 15th. I told you I was surrounded by more Aries than I thought. And I remember someone was like, Aries. I was like, oh, you're Aries? I don't really know too many Aries. Gina, you got 2 brother Aries and a best friend.
Wow.
And so shout out to Sheldon.
And an uncle.
I
just threw that in there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Queen Kaya.
Ciao. So on that note, I have a couple of different perspectives on this, because there's some times where, people feel the need to demand an apology because it kind of says, I need an apology now, or I'm not going to be able to move forward with you.
That's
You gonna be real stuck.
That's a problem. Yeah.
And this is how a lot of friendships usually, or very good companionships, would end, because sometimes we as individuals are stubborn and refusing to take responsibility for our actions, so we don't say that you apologize or say sorry in a timely fashion. And in the essence, I think, of wanting to continue certain relationships, it's something that is needed in order to go forward. Like if you don't apologize for what you've done or how you've made me feel, then I'm not going to be able to move on forward with you, because I feel like you lack accountability. However, I've had some other situations that happened that for me, I was just like crazy. That, there was a time when I offended a friend of mine. And in offending them, I apologized several times. But they were like, you're kind of like, bump your apology. Oh. And in the instance and it was crazy, the situation around it was kind of like, it was a very pressing time. It was a lot of stuff going on. And in the instance, one, I didn't really feel like I needed to apologize if they understood where I was coming from, but they had not even taken a second to understand where I was coming from. And it was a very one-sided thing where it was like, like I'm the only one that's wrong here? Right. Hold on. And for me, I'm not the type of person that now that you're addressing me with something, I'm going to address you with what the things that you have done that I've chose to look over. Exactly. Because if it's something, I'm going to address it. And if it's something that I can't get over, sometimes I start to reassess, is it just me feeling this way, or is this from what this is from? So I've seen it from several different aspects, but the most relevant for me was saying to my father on a day, I need you to apologize for some things that have happened. I realize that the issues that I am having with men come from the things that you have done to women. And I want you to understand that sometimes the sins of the father falls on the daughter. And I want you to understand what this means. And he was upset with me. He was like, well, thank you for ruining my day. I was having a great day until you called, Kaya. And I was like, no, you got to apologize. And he ended up hanging up on me.
Nice. Okay.
And
nice.
I swear, about 6 weeks later, I get a phone call. And at first, I thought that the person was laughing. They sound like a man laughing on the phone. So I'm like, hello. And then when he started to talk, I realized it was my dad. And he wasn't laughing. He was crying. And he said to me, this week, 2 of your sisters called me and said the same thing that you said. He's like, and I had to realize that I have done some things that maybe you guys may be paying for, and I want to apologize. And I cried my eyes out that day, and it gave me so much peace and comfort to have him acknowledge the fact that he had hurt me, and not directly, indirectly.
Right.
But he was a man and owned it, and that really did. At that point in time, it really saved me from going through a lot of relationship issues and stuff like that. So I think we're giving y'all those different scenarios, and finding a good medium, I think is very important. And knowing when you're wrong, or when you're asking for too much, or when you're not wrong, and knowing how to apologize even when you're not wrong. Right. And I think that's where a lot of our peace can come from. And apologies are for grown folks. So I just like that's how I feel about it. I feel like
I love that.
Apologies is for grown folks. Yeah. It's not easy to say, I'm sorry. I apologize if I hurt you. I'm sorry that it didn't work out that way. And when a person gives you that, giving them understanding, I think might be the only other thing that is on the table at that point, hearing and understanding. And
let me ask you this one, and maybe this is really hindsight, and so, in a hypothetical, but him reacting that way, if he would have been like, oh, okay, Kai, I'm sorry, when you actually spoke to him the first time, versus him taking the moment to reflect in what he did and coming back and giving a heartened sorry, do you see, it's hard to say, would you have seen the difference, because maybe you would have caught that sorry that first day and then he went to reflect on it. But like for you,
I was part of it. I could have actually felt offended the second time, because why do so many other people have to come to you for you to acknowledge that you've done something, and for you to acknowledge my pain, the pain or the feelings that you made me feel with this situation. So that's why I said those apologies is for grown folks, because it really, you got to be grown on the other side of it too to understand and accept the apology, and it's hard and it's difficult to give it sometimes on the other side. So but I did appreciate it nonetheless, but I did kind of feel conflicted at one point in time when he first started speaking, because I was like, oh, okay, so somebody else had to call you first and tell you they had the same problem with you first for you to realize that this was a problem. Right. But I did appreciate it nonetheless, because like I said, it freed me. It truly did. It freed me.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So, and it's I guess on the same topic, because I've been my past week, it was interesting to say the least. Like, and over the last couple of weeks, I was sharing last week that my whole thing was just trying to make sure everything I do it from a place of love, light, understanding that the energy I put into anything that's the seeds I'm sowing into whatever I'm doing, right? So it's going to grow and blossom into whatever. But I have to say, it's been a pretty heavy couple of weeks, and it is like I've been emotionally going up and down, and it is really because I don't even know. I don't know if I want an apology, or if I'm just going through growing pains as I'm becoming older and becoming more mature to certain things. Because I'm very quick to apologize when I realize that I've done something wrong. I'm quick to apologize. I'm quick to acknowledge, and I'm quick to make efforts to do better. Right. Again, I never said I'm perfect. I'm always I'm forever dropping the ball and trying different things just to do better. But I'm always making that effort. But so many times I just find that it's the reciprocal is not happening.
Sorry, and because I'm surrounded by quite a few Virgos, you included. I will say, some of you guys are quick to apologize, but at some point in time, you got to stop being sorry. And you can't do it again. I'm not saying it's you per se, but I'm saying sometimes being too quick to apologize sometimes is just as ineffective.
Good point. And very good point, actually. But I think it's if you're always apologizing for the same thing, then that's a different, then it's like, you're not learning. But in my particular scenario, it's just because I deal with so many different people. There's just a lot of different variations, and I'm always mindful of how a person might have perceived something, might have taken, so I'm always like, oh shoot, that wasn't my intention, for that to come across. Let me explain it to you differently, or whatever be the case. So that's really what it is. But it's just that, just going through it, right? It's just like there's. I guess I'm in a point now where I'm how do I put this? I think I am. I want to. So it's going to sound funny to say, but I kind of want to go through this discomfort because it's a revelation time for me. Like, I feel like I have to feel uncomfortable a little bit just to acknowledge, like, what are you doing wrong? What are you thinking wrong? What are you speaking wrong? Because it's like, I don't want to ignore the pain or the discomfort I'm feeling. I want to actually, acknowledge it. Like, something is making you uncomfortable. Something's making you and kind of dig deep into it. You know what I mean? So I'm just sharing here with you guys, with our listeners, with our peoples here. It's just that's what I've been going through. I've been going through it, and I'm watching just how life is going in terms of ups and downs. And I feel like what is bothering me the most is that I feel there's people, businesses, or as well as organizations in positions where they could do better for our people. And because I represent the people, it's like I feel for the people. And this is really what's giving me this I almost don't know how to deal, because I'm like, because I rep the people, I want to almost fight for the people. But then because I know, there's that spiritual side of me and that loving side of me, I'm like, fighting is not the answer. So, this is what keeps putting me in this loop, because it's like, fighting's not the answer, but I'm watching people getting hurt, disrespected, crushed, like they need and they can't seem to get, but you have, and a lot, and you can't seem to figure out a way to make it easier for other people, but you seem to be living pretty good yourself.
But that's you putting your expectations on someone else, and you'll always be disappointed when you do that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I guess it's that thing, like, if I was in that situation, I would do differently, right? So I guess you're absolutely right. But is it is my expectations too high when you're in a position where you're supposed to do this? It's like if we break it down to the dumbest, simplest thing, like as a police officer, you're actually supposed to be here to serve and protect, not kill my brother. You're not supposed to do that, right? So now, is it wrong for me to have that expectation?
No, but there's a slight difference. That's you fighting for somebody who's actively physically hurting people and whatnot. Not saying that they're not withholding from people. It's still a hurt, but it's not an act towards that person specifically that's going to hurt them. And when it's not about having high expectations, low expectations. You can have your expectations and you can feel the way you feel, but what you can do is express it to them and then walk away. You can't. You could just gotta be like, hey, if I was me, it'd be great if you can, and then you walk away. Because if you just like, oh, you should be doing that, but look at this, and because you don't know what else they're going through.
Right.
It may seem like they're going good, but you're not in their books.
Right.
You don't understand their family situation. You don't know what they have to send back home potentially or whatnot. It doesn't matter what they're driving. Doesn't matter what they're doing. Doesn't matter what all these things.
Right.
You can't expect to understand what someone else is going through and expect them to have the same, to play the same role that you play.
No, I guess I get that, but in this particular scenario, we're talking like, and this is just, and you know what, you're absolutely right on that, because hey, I don't know, right? It's like I'm not sitting and looking at everybody's books, but when you have slews of organizations, and I'm be very transparent. Like in my position, I work with a lot of different organizations, and a lot of these orgs have been funded millions of dollars, funded millions of dollars to help the community.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So now, when like I could understand there's limitations. I could understand that even managing, like, but there's a way of going about it. There's communication. There's transparency. There's just taking the time to hear what people are saying and adjusting according, right? And then there's dead silence. There's radio silence where it's like it's weird. Like how are you silent? And there's people crying loud everywhere, but you could be silent in these situations, but I have to hear it, and it's like, and it's just, so it's like that's one of the things I'm dealing with, and I'm optimistic that the situation is going to change. I've been having meetings with different organizations, but it's just that I can't help feel how I feel, you know what I mean, because the fact I have to hear people saying, see people's woes, like watch people close their companies, watch things happen, and where it's just like where I feel powerless, but I shouldn't be powerless, and the only reason I'm feeling powerless is because I keep taking the nice guy approach. You understand? So that's why it's like, wow, this is uncomfortable for me.
Another part of it, I think, if I could just chime in here, because I think that the part of what happens is that you have for a long time been setting the format on how to get it done, and the mission for it is to aid the people. But if you see the companies out there doing these different things and not aiding the people, and you know that you may have helped, you may have given them information, and then you watch them doing these different things, and it's like, okay, so at one point, do you start helping the people? Oh, that's not the mission. But their mission says that you're here to help the people. So there's nothing wrong with the way that you feel and are having those expectations, because the truth is that if I give you the blueprint in order to do the things, to make the money, to take care of the people, and at the end goal, you take the money and throw it up in the air, I ask you, what part of the blueprint was that? So now that is where a lot of this comes from. And like going to the lines of like where you feel like, you might want to say, oh, I feel like I shouldn't say. You have to. You have to speak up. You have to tell them what the expectations are. I expect that if you are doing this, that you're doing what you're supposed to do, or you're just as bad as everyone else. This is the reason why we start these different organizations. And I would not hesitate if I catch you doing the wrong thing outside of this order to oust you, because I want the people to know, don't go and stand there. They're not going to take care of you.
Right.
That's very important. And that's part of what that's what our responsibility to the community is. It's to inform them where it's safe and where it's not safe, and where they're going to be taken care of and respected. And that's important. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And having some expectations of the people, because if we all stand in here as leaders, I'm like, hey, your crown is tilted. You need to fix that.
Right.
And I ain't looking for you to do, not for me. Do it because you look crazy in front of the people right now.
Yeah. Fact.
So I feel you 110% that a lot of people need to just, step up their game a little bit. And it's not wrong to have expectations of other community leaders like yourself. Y'all know that this is something we're supposed to be doing, but this is how, it's like almost like that other folks over there, we see them turning a blind eye to each other because, I think that's the way we're supposed to do it. No, speak up and say something.
Thank you. All right. So you see, and this is awesome because this is I guess we'll use it to segue our intro, guys. So as you guys know, this is our month of health that, Lord, again, did I remember? Gina, do you remember our talk? God, it was so good. What was it? Health? No, it had nothing to do with health. It's like great day, great life, great.
Oh, new spring, new me.
New spring, new me. Damn. Okay, good. At least we got it. Last week we didn't. New spring, new me. We are talking about health throughout the entire month of April. First week, it was physical health. Last week we addressed spiritual, as well as a bit of environmental health. This week we're talking mental health. And it's important. It's an important topic. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to talk a little bit more about to talk about some mental health. Let's take a quick positive cause just to shout out our homegirls, Kemba and Andrea from Keen Real Estate Group. Whenever you're thinking real estate, whenever you're thinking investments, whenever you're thinking about planning for the long term, think Keen Real Estate Group. They're generating wealth for generations. KeenGroup.ca. If your goal is to purchase a car and to make the process as simple as possible, just get a car broker, guys. You just get a car broker. Big shout out to our homeboy, Hamsdale Jacques, the owner of HJCourtierAuto.com. That's HJCourtierAuto.com. If you're a small to medium-sized business and you're getting started and you're ready to go to that next level, what do you need? You need a phone line and you need a website. Think Mainstream Digicom. They got all your telecommunication needs checked. MainstreamDigicom.com. You're trying to get out on the web. You're trying to understand how to navigate through ads. Check out Java Logics for all your marketing, your digital marketing. Where would we be without Preston? I don't even know. Check out Java Logics. I give thanks to Preston for what he's done for the OFC. The amount of positive reviews we've gotten from all his referrals, we're proud to stand behind his work. Check out javalogics.com. No, it's not just because he's my brother. It's because you can't talk hip-hop in Montreal without saying M City Solo. Guys, check out his latest project, In My Fields, available on mcitysolo.com. If it's not one of the hardest new EPs to hit Montreal, come and let me know. You already know. It's your boy, Pharaoh, bigging up, mcitysolo.com. Keeping the culture alive. I gotta give thanks to West Can Folk Performing Company. For the last 40 years plus, they've been promoting our culture through song, drum, and dance, educating youth, the children, the seniors. Just check them out, westcanfolk.com.
Girl, what are you cooking?
My curry chicken.
Ooh, you're burning it.
Oh, gosh, it looks so...
It's okay, girl. You need the Curry House. They have the best Caribbean food in town. 2 locations in Montreal, West Island, and Côte-de-Neige. For more information, follow Caribbean Curry House, MTL. Don't forget to mention the Empower Hour for your 10% discount.
So, who placed in the order?
Me.
DeVito, WizKid, Burna Boy. Those are just some of the big names that's blessed Montreal thanks to Afrobeats Montreal. Definitely check out Afrobeats MTL for all concerts, show listings, everything that has to do with Afrobeats in the city. Check out Afrobeats MTL. One full circle. We are the Melanated Community Resource Hub and Network. What does that mean? We're here for each other.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people, y'all.
So if you're now joining us, we are talking mental health.
Yes.
This is the 3rd episode in our month-long series on basically health, different parts of health. So we're about to dive in, and just you guys know how we like to do. Just share our little anecdotes, our life experiences when it comes to the topic at hand. So now we're talking mental health. Gina the Great.
Yeah, guys, I'm not a smoker, right? And I just don't. The inhalation of the smoke in the lungs is really not my thing. However, the way this anxiety has been hitting, I believe in using things for medicinal purposes.
Yes.
So I'm not necessarily. I wouldn't be a recreational user, but I think I might just have to
take a draw sometimes.
Take a draw.
I call it the miracle drug.
The miracle drug?
Yeah, I use it for everything.
Okay, well, I don't need it for everything.
Okay, I'm just saying you can use it for everything.
But and I was also told, like, the way things are now, there are so many different strains and, things to help you go to sleep and all these different things and whatnot. And I'm all for the things that are used in the right way. No disrespect for anything else there, but like if you use it for its medical benefits, that's like God put it on the earth for us. Like, really,
amen,
truly.
hallelujah.
So I might have to hit some who are much more knowledgeable than I on that.
Talk to me and Kaya. More Kaya, but me too.
I would say, honestly, I wouldn't suggest that you smoke anything. First things first, if
like a tea or something, can't you do it in
that's a body buzz, and that might even set you off.
Oh.
What you need is a CBD
the CBD
oil.
Yeah.
That's going to help with the anxiety. That'll help with any type of feelings, like you might feel a little anxious, stressed, oppressed. But the combustible, where you put fire to something, it changes the chemical compound of the marijuana. Okay. And then when you boil it in water, it changes the chemical composition of the marijuana. It's going to give you different feelings every time. You can take an indica and light it and it make you feel tired. You can take it and boil it and it might make you feel up, because the body buzz is something different because you're ingesting it. So start with a CBD. I actually got some people that can help you out with some CBD oils that you can take it. It's sublingual, so you take it and put it under the tongue. And swish it around and then swallow it, and in minutes you'll be like, oh my gosh. But any type of stress, anything, you know what, even sometimes when it's drug induced, you see somebody that's tripping off of some drugs and they can't come down, you give them a dose of CBD. The CBD is going to take it and bring it down. It's going to stop it. It's going to so that's actually good for stress.
To the Empower.
That's why I
don't
said
smoke
Kaya.
though. Don't smoke it.
Yeah, because that's not my thing.
Right,
like
exactly.
smoking's really not my thing. Like I tried cigarettes when I was young because you did it, and the thing is, I took one drug, but I was like scared because to me it was just like, I don't want to be addicted to anything. And I did. I was like, who does this? Why is this disgusting? Like, why would you do this to yourself? Yeah. So yeah, that's really not my thing. But I appreciate.
If you're having a problem sleeping, one puff at nighttime of some indica couch. That's what we call the indica. You put it in the couch and you'll go to sleep. But if you're feeling something like, oh, I'm walking around in my daytime and I might feel like I'm on it, don't do that. We're gonna get you some CBD oil.
No, but like you guys know, I'm trying to increase the sleep too. It's just everything that needs a little bit of increase in there.
So we can fix you up. I got you for that.
Yeah. So that's where
Lime by Gina. No, that's not what you were saying. I heard lime. Sorry. I heard lime. Sorry.
I mean, y'all welcome anytime. Just mind the boxes.
Okay, facts.
Don't mind the boxes. Maybe in my new spot. But no, so that's the mental health that I'm dealing with this month.
Yeah.
I should or these months. That's where I'm at. Kaya,
how are you handling it? What's your take on mental health just in general?
Okay, so mental health is very, very important for me, and for those of y'all who are listening that listen to my segment for this reason, they know a lot of people that know me know. I went to prison. And after a year of doing prison in Barbados, I came home with a lot of mental health issues due to the treatment and lack thereof. So for me right now, mental health is all about the reparation. We got to live every day. We're going to go through things. It doesn't mean because you're in the fixing process, nothing else is going to go wrong during that time. It's going to make you feel like, oh my God, I got to start all over again because I'm pressed, I'm feeling stressed. And so I'm learning this now, that every day is a new day and a chance for us to start again and try it again and work again at whatever it is that we've accomplished or failed. I'm not taking myself too seriously anymore. I remember this part of myself prior to prison that I really just stopped taking myself too seriously. I post pictures where my smile was awkward or my hairs was out of place. Or I just posted them because I don't care nothing about that. That's not my stress. But I realized that I had been putting a lot of emphasis on these things and it wasn't doing me any good. It was really making things worse. So I just started saying, you know what, the healing is happening. And I thank you, God, in advance for the healing. And I'm going to work at this every day. So every day I give myself a new chance to do it and do it a different way. So I start my program today. It don't work for me like this today. Tomorrow I start the same program with a different order. I'm not shying away from it. I'm just like, this is where my mental health now is like, it's so much better because I'm like, girl, you was working on yourself and you didn't give up. Those things that you start back and do over and over again, you're not a failure because you got to start over again. You actually building yourself up, making yourself stronger for the next step. And that step would be a whole lot easier because you mastered this part. Mistakes don't mean that you failed. And that's a big part of the mental health thing for me. When you can't accomplish, when you don't have no money, when you feel like you start to feel stressed, pressed. And the only time I felt depressed, the stress is when I didn't have no money. I was like, I just got to get me some money. So now the thing is like setting myself up for the steps.
Right.
Well, for me, mental health is doing it. And they say anything you do over and over again is like insanity if it's not working. Well, for me, doing it over and over again is preparation for the great defeat. So when you're going to defeat all the problems, you're going to conquer all the problems because you've tried it over and over again. And now you know the inner workings of it. So don't give up. Keep pushing forward. Don't let the doubt beat you, because on the other side of that doubt, on the other side, and I think I said this a couple weeks ago, the on the other side of that uncomfortableness is your win.
Yeah.
And that's when what I would say, like the stress, the mental stress and all that stuff, it starts to diminish because you've accomplished something. So it takes you to a whole nother realm. It's like, dang, I did not realize. So the trial and error part of it for me, for mental health, is a big thing. You feel like you failing at something, don't beat yourself up. Try it again another day. Try it with a different formula, because you're going to win. You can't win if you keep doing it, right? One day you're going to figure out how it's done properly and you're going to win.
Right.
And then that's what's going to help, bring those levels down, that feeling anxious, feeling like you can't. So for me, that's what mental health is right now. And having the best mental health for me is just sticking with the plan, trying it over and over again, and never giving up, because the accomplishment is what brought me to true peace. Say, the friggin', what do you call that? That moment, that aha moment, your revelation. It's like, wow, this is what it. So sometimes you forget your steps, right?
That's it.
It's not easy every day. You forget your steps. You forget who you are at different times. Some people wake up in the morning and don't clothe themselves in their right mind. I thank God for that every morning. I wake up, if I put on an outfit and I feel like I look cute, I'll be like, Lord, thank you for clothing me in my right mind today. Like, so I'm grateful for it all. But that's my process, and that's my thought process on it. Just
I love that. And
sticking with it.
I love it. And I could actually kind of bounce off of that.
Yeah, Pete.
Because my journey is like, I only recently started feeling uncomfortable with things, right? Because I've been in a space where it's like nothing mattered at all. I'm just like, I'm just going to continue. Like, I'm just living my life. Everything's positive. And because of my knowledge of self and my knowledge of spirituality, I wouldn't let myself feel bad back in the day, because I'm just like, nah. I'm like, it's like there's no reason to feel bad, because it's like I understand why things are happening. This is what it is. But now that I'm more embracing, like, okay, no, this feeling, and again, the more I resonate with my brothers and sisters on the planet, I realize, okay, no, like we have to feel these things to be able to get through. You have to feel, you have to acknowledge, like you don't want to ignore the feelings, right? So that I'm now getting these things and I'm growing through these things and I'm having a good time with it. And I had mentioned this last week, but for me, the mental, what has been really helping me mentally is appreciating the journey. And it's because I'm a doer, quote unquote, I'm always trying to get something done. And like I mentioned last week as well, like I was just always doing and not experiencing. And now that I'm more focusing on experiencing, I'm enjoying the process more. I'm enjoying the journey more. And the idea is to really, and I guess what I want to share with our people is just that, is to acknowledge that we're all a work in progress. From when you have a vision of where you want to go and what you want to do, the Spirit is going to lead you there. Right? You're going to get there. It's just what makes it hard for us is that we're expecting to get there in certain ways. And then that's when we start fighting against ourselves, because like we're trying to go in the way our mind thinks that this is how we're going to accomplish our goal, and our spirit's like, yo, bro, I have such an easier process for you that you're going to enjoy so much more if you would have just let go a little bit. Right? So it's like, and to let go, it's like, how does this feel? If you're doing something like, yo, I got to get this done to go to the next level, but you feel like inside because you're just pushing and you're pushing against the grain, stop. Because it's like that cannot reap the fruits that you want. The seeds that you're planting in that is not, it's toxic. The energy is counterproductive. So it's like, yes, you want to get it done and you will get it done. Guarantee you're going to get it done. But your spirit wants you to enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process, and that's where I'm at with my mental health, and with my mental health and my spiritual evolution is just enjoying the journey, and understanding, that we're here to have a good time while we're going through the process. We don't have all the answers, nor should we, because if we did have all the answers, it wouldn't be fun. You would go straight to the end. Like you would say, okay, I know what it is. Get straight to the end. Where's the experience? Where's the joy? Where's the ups and downs? Where's the experience? Right? And so we're here to have these life experiences, So anyways, so I'll to say without over ranting, because we're just sharing our little 2 cents. I had an opportunity to interview a brother I call Osa, my brother Osa, and what's really cool is now what we discussed is more along the lines of, I guess shedding some light and setting some support for families who are living with people with special needs. His organization was just blessed, and they're now part of the whole Lions Club initiatives, and they work with people with special needs. And this is exceptional, especially because people within our community, especially the melanated community, there's a lot of us who are living with children who have special needs, but we don't necessarily talk about it a lot, nor do we know what kind of resources or support is available to us. So it's a little variation from mental health. It is still within mental health because we go through it as parents, especially parents who are dealing with children with special needs. So it is to be able to offer that kind of support and and advice and direction. So you guys sit back, enjoy this interview, and I'll see you all in a minute. Let's take a quick positive cause just to shout out our homegirls, Kemba and Andrea from Keen Real Estate Group. Whenever you're thinking real estate, whenever you're thinking investments, whenever you're thinking about planning for the long term, think Keen Real Estate Group. They're generating wealth for generations. KeenGroup.ca. If your goal is to purchase a car and to make the process as simple as possible, just get a car broker, guys. You just get a car broker. Big shout out to our homeboy, Hamsdale Jacques, the owner of hjcourtierauto.com. That's HJCOURTIERAUTO.com. If you're a small to medium-sized business and you're getting started and you're ready to go to the next level, what do you need? You need a phone line and you need a website. Think Mainstream Digicom. They got all your telecommunication needs checked. MainstreamDigicom.com. You're trying to get out on the web. You're trying to understand how to navigate through ads. Check out Java Logics for all your marketing, your digital marketing. Where would we be without Preston? I don't even know. Check out Java Logics. I give thanks to Preston for what he's done for the OFC. The amount of positive reviews we've gotten from all his referrals, we're proud to stand behind his work. Check out javalogics.com. No, it's not just because he's my brother. It's because you can't talk hip-hop in Montreal without saying M-City Solo. Guys, check out his latest project, In My Fields, available on mcitysolo.com. If it's not one of the hardest new EPs to hit Montreal, come and let me know. You already know. It's your boy, Pharaoh, bigging up, mcitysolo.com. Keeping the culture alive. I gotta give thanks to West Can Folk Performing Company. For the last 40 years plus, they've been promoting our culture through song, drum, and dance, educating youth, the children, the seniors. Just check them out, westcanfolk.com.
Girl, what are you cooking?
My curry chicken.
Ooh, you're burning it.
Gosh, it looks so...
It's okay, girl. You need the Curry House. They have the best Caribbean food in town. 2 locations in Montreal, West Island, and Côte-Neige. For more information, follow Caribbean Curry House, MTL. Don't forget to mention the Empower Hour for your 10% discount.
So, who placed in the order?
Me.
DeVito, WizKid, Burna Boy. Those are just some of the big names that's blessed Montreal thanks to Afrobeats Montreal. Definitely check out Afrobeats MTL for all concerts, show listings, everything that has to do with Afrobeats in the city. Check out Afrobeats MTL. One full circle. We are the Melanated Community Resource Hub and Network. What does that mean? We're here for each other. All right, party people. As you guys know, like I had mentioned last week, we have an exceptional interview that we're doing right now. So I have my brother Ebohon, who's with us. He's one of the founding members of the Montreal Autism Community Lions Club. Thank you so much for being with us today. These are my claps you're getting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for what you're doing and for what you're going to be sharing with the people today. So won't waste any time. Let's jump right in. So for those who, this is the first time they're hearing about the Montreal Autism Community Lions Club. Please let us know a little bit more about it and you.
So the Montreal Autism Lions Club is new. It's the first time most people will hear of it because we are going to be inaugurated next week. So we have 23 founding members, which
nice.
I'm part of. I'm one of the founding members, as well as the spokesman, the coordinator, and the international ambassador for Montreal Autism Lions Club. I was called to be part of this organization because I have worked with the autistic community for 24 years now.
Mm.
Yeah, I work. I do technical assist with schools, 23 years. I work with CLSCs. I work with respite homes. I also run a program which I created. I'm the CEO of United Explorers Special Needs Program. So we bring after-school recreation for our autistic community. So basically that's it. So for the Montreal Lions Club contains about 1.4 million members globally. So 1.4 million members globally.
Wow,
So,
I never knew it was that large. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's beautiful because what Lions Club, what they do is they have 5 pillars. They have 5 pillars. So they support vision, they support diabetes, they support childhood cancer, so they support world hunger, they support also environment. So generate funds to support like Haiti, what happened in Haiti,
right.
Support like what's happening right now in Ukraine,
Right.
and financing through different organizations, bringing people together to finance a childhood to find to support childhood cancer. So it's lots of work. There's 5 pillars. So what happened is that in the whole of North America and Europe, these 5 pillars, vision, diabetes, hunger, environment, and hunger, world hunger. The 6th pillar is going to be autism.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah, next week is going to be the launching event. So as from after the 25th, we're going to be giving the banner to carry the banner. Hi, can you hear me, bro? You still there?
Yeah, continue. Yeah, go ahead.
Next week, we're going to be giving sworn in by the mayor of our town of Montreal, because that's where we're going to host the event. And we're going to be giving the banner. We're going to read through the right and swearing in and coming into to serve the community. And so after that pops in, there are various events like the Lions Con International coming up in June, the Geek Squads, and all these events that line up after. So the reason I reached out to you, because me, I'm a member of the OFC, and I love, like, what it stands for, bringing family together. So for me, I'm thinking, like, wow, you see, the autism, like, spectrum, I would work with physiotherapists, psychologists, educational consultants, educators, job coaches, name them all, professionals. I work with them constantly, every day for 23 years, implementing programs from the government, implementing programs designed by psychologists, clinical psychologists, and all kind of stuff we do every day, 24/7. So I'm thinking, like, and I've seen parents and families who, my God, like, some of them burn out from stress.
Yeah.
Like, not knowing where to go, dealing with the children, not even having time for themselves to go out with their spouse, partners, 24/7 work. So I'm thinking, this Montreal Autism Community Club stands for is bringing families together, and sharing resources. So the aim, one of our aim, I put all the points down for you.
Good.
It's a brief, rough sketch, So to bring awareness, to the society in which we live in, to bring inclusion, to support funding for the needs, services and programs for neurodiverse members. So mothers, fathers, adults who are, like, part of the autistic community in Montreal. So we're looking for involvement from our Black community.
Yes.
Parents of autistic children, companies, people who would sponsor, people who would become members, people who would sponsor events. They would have their logos, like advertised and attached to the website. So publicizing, like, what we're doing. So it goes further to, like, the aim is to partner with people to join. We welcome members. Great. So members are welcome, like, to join, and also, like, individuals, organizations to in our community to advocate, to enrich the lives of those in our autistic community. So that's one. The mission. Our mission, just to make it quickly.
But actually, before you share the mission, and then I have a couple of quick things to add. So go ahead. The mission.
The mission is to advocate, to celebrate, to support the services of our autistic community. To advocate, celebrate, support services of our autistic community. The vision is to promote the acceptance. We've been marching. I don't know if you've heard about Autism Speaks Canada.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, for 20-something years, we march on April. We go to the stadium. We have lots of people come outside, like, to march for the awareness, because it is hard for autistic community to find jobs, to be included into, like, recreational activities, to be accepted in public. But today is totally more different than 20 years ago, because now it's more out there, and as we march forward, it's becoming more and more and more. And it's I can't put all this into words. What's happening?
Well, I was gonna say, because, brother, first of all, I'm like I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'm excited. I'm proud of the developments that you've made, like, and what you're doing for the autistic community, because we had spoken a little bit off air, and this is a reality that it's so important to shed light on this, right? And it's funny because it's like, even the interview that right after this one is another thing about mental health, but to create awareness, because there's so many parents out there who are dealing with autistic children, but they don't know where to go. They don't know that there's resources. They don't know that there's a support for them. So a lot of them, like, I don't want to say they're suffering in silence, because it's not necessarily they're not suffering, but they are going through it alone, and a lot of times, like, the struggle is real. And to know that there's a community out there that you could take part in and get support from, it's definitely, like, I know I'm telling you now, I'm sharing it on air, like, the OFC is definitely on board to help, to collaborate, to partner however we can, to encourage our members to become members as well, to support what you guys are doing. Because literally just today, we're in a meeting meeting, a national meeting, and one of the entrepreneurs asked, is there any government support for entrepreneurs who have autistic children? Because it's like it impedes your ability to run your company properly, right? It's like there's so many things that we don't take that we take for granted, you know, and that we're just not aware of. So again, like I think it's exceptional what you're doing, and I'm definitely looking forward to supporting.
Now we're talking about parents with autistic children, but also we provide services and help to mothers who are brain fatigued or born out from constant 24 years, 18 years of constant work and trying to the school, the doctor, the medication, what psychologist to go to. Your child needs an accompaniator, somebody who's going to follow him all around the city. All these are services that most parents are financing. All this also we promote event. I'll put it here. So we promote the core of Montreal Autism Community Lions Club. We have a social club / support group.
Okay.
We have that. We have arts and autism. So within the autism community, we have many of the children who have these abilities to draw, to paint, to but they are so locked up within their own world. And so we have programs designed for that. We have the Geeky School, Geekitude, where the computerized, those who are computer versed can participate with other, create friends. They can come to meet. We have an event. We have a place where these children come together to meet other children, to develop relationship, to learn computers, to go into gaming, to do stuff. So this is one. We have an adult transitioning program set in place. So we have employment and housing. So when these children get to the age of 18, they're considered adults right now.
Right.
So now there are no programs. So after 18, 21 years old, they finish special schools. So what happens next?
Right.
So there's not enough services to cater for these individuals afterwards. So we have employment and housing working towards creating jobs, meeting different stuff going on.
Brother, it's I know, because the thing is, for all the and the thing is that definitely our listeners are hearing it. They're getting excited about it. And I'm looking at this time, so I know, so we have to wrap just so we don't miss anything. So now, first of all, how do people get in contact with you, and how, and is the event that's coming up this week, is it open to the public? Can people come and take part?
Okay, so the event coming up next week is going to house 60 persons. Why? Because of this whole situation going on right now, so 60 persons. And anybody who would I would love to see Black brothers and sisters and families come out, because this is beyond just autism. This is bringing us together to work together, to assist each other, to learn about each other, to grow with each other.
I love it. Yes.
Take up our children. So to reach, you can reach us at MTL Autism Lions Club at gmail.com.
Perfect. MTL Autism Lions Club with an S. Lions with an S.
With an S. Lions Club at gmail.com.
Is there a phone number?
You can reach us at 514 Lorianne 514-929-0830. That's 514-929-0830. And for most parents who cannot be there in person, so any parents that require any information can forward a request to that email, or can send it to me at idonije.osa@gmail.com, and I will forward them all the necessary documents that they need to understand better what we're doing. You guys have a
website? Sorry for cutting you. Is there a website too?
Because it's new, the website is in development as we speak. We have a Facebook
problem. I love it. No problem. So people could email, or they could call. And the event itself is being held what date?
On the 25th of April. It's going to be at Dupont in TMR. Dupont, Premier Maison, 1297 Kemi Konora.
I know exactly. Okay. My brother, this is exceptional. And so if anybody wants more information about the tickets, they could call Lorianne, or they could send an email to mtlautismlineclub@gmail.com, or they...
Yes, you can support through raffle tickets.
Yes.
Raffle tickets, prizes, the prizes to be won. You have a smart TV to be won, like you have jewelry to be won, you have SAQ gift to be won, just to support.
And so if a person can't attend physically, is there a way that they can still support the raffle? Can they?
Yes, they can buy online. All this information are available. And I'll send you everything right now as soon as we finish.
Please do, and we'll make sure to share it again on our show. We'll share it on all our platforms. Brother, this has been exceptional. I'm so happy to be able to have you on the show with us today.
Likewise. Thank you so much. Yes.
And I'm definitely looking forward to continuing to build with you and your organization.
Yes. All the events that are going to come up afterwards, and even before, I'll send you all the documents right now. So it will be available to our sisters and our brothers and their children, as well as any information that's coming up as we go on. I'll forward it to you, because I spoke with Lorianne, the president, and she went to your site. She read through all the mission and the vision statement and everything. And she was like, yeah, basically that's what we do. The same thing.
Exactly.
The connection is like awesome.
Brother, I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you again for what you're doing. I'm looking forward. The OSC is looking forward to collaborating with you guys and empowering our community as much as we can. Yes.
And just to wrap it up, is it possible to have one of the OFC members, be present?
I myself, I'm going to make an effort to be there, brother. I'm going to make an effort to be there. All right. And anybody who knows me, it's not the easiest, but I will be there to represent and to support. It's my pleasure. And I thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much. And there's so much, bro. I can't even.
I can feel the energy. This is the first of many. We will have you back on, and as you know, the Empower Hour is always going to support. So anything you guys have coming up, send it to us. We'll mention it on the show, and you basically feel at home with us, my brother.
I look forward to seeing you in person.
Yes,
bro. So this is going to be amazing.
Thank you so much. All right.
It's amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, and thanks to all the listeners at home, and brothers and sisters. Have a great week, and blessings all the way.
Amazing.
Thank you.
The Community Media Advocacy Center is hosting a series of consultative events titled Building an Anti-Racism Strategy for Canadian Broadcasting. Made possible with support from the Anti-Racism Action Program at Canadian Heritage, these important and timely events will help confront barriers experienced by Black, Indigenous, and people of color in the media.
Events will be hosted in Montreal, Vancouver, Halifax, Calgary, and Winnipeg, culminating in a national conference to be held at Carleton University in Ottawa. These events will host presentations and open forums to develop an anti-racism strategy that will reduce barriers to participation in media and broadcasting policymaking for racialized Canadians.
Register for free to join the event in person at UQAM on Saturday, April the 30th. Presentations start at 10 a.m.
Complete details are online at www.antiracism.media.
This is a CKT Cole presentation.
So this is what it is. I am so grateful. Again, as you guys know, this is the week where we are discussing mental health on the Empower Hour. So we just had an awesome discussion with our brother, Osa, and I could not have a session about mental health without bringing on one of our brothers from the OFC, our brother Stephen Walker. He is a young writer, junior writer coming up, working on an amazing initiative all around mental health. So I wanted to bring him on the show just so he could share a little bit about his vision, his journey. I definitely think that it's something that you guys need to hear and you guys will, are going to want to get involved in. So brother Stephen Walker, welcome to the Empower Hour.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me, and grand rising. It's a little bit late in the afternoon. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Some of the things that I take to heart is our mental health, and our mental health is, especially as melanated people, individuals. For the past 30 odd years, a lot of the issues associated to mental health of the melanated community have been under-recorded and gone on unchecked. So I've had access to some form of therapy in my time. And even with that access, you'll find that the structural, the systems in place don't really allow for them to check for the issues associated with things like systemic discrimination or vicarious racism in our society. So I've been diagnosed, for instance, with PTSD, and they're learning now as of late that it's complex PTSD. So one of the things I do is as an indie writer, is I put out on my Facebook, basically you're following the journey of an individual who suffers from disorder as they attempt to realize their goals, realize their vision. It's not always fun, and you can fluff it up with a lot of optimistic words, but that doesn't necessarily help the individual who doesn't really understand that the way they're dealing with the traumatic situation or a disorder is not necessarily the best way to deal with it. Because, for instance, there's one thing such as the worrying about the worry that we often come across when we talk about these disorders. Worrying about the worry, if you don't realize that you're worrying about a situation, you can fall into the category of depression, which is easier to track and treat with pills and such than something as complex PTSD. This is just to give you a little bit of an understanding what the difference between PTSD is and complex PTSD. PTSD can be the result of a traumatic event that happened, a criminal event. These can be anything: a fire, watching someone die, burning, rapes, burglary, all this stuff. Complex PTSD is where you're suffering from a chronic trauma that's ongoing, that keeps on happening. So something as simple as systemic discrimination, once you are triggered from it, you become hypervigilant. And depending on the environment that you find yourself in, you will start to see those elements of discrimination more clearly. So
wow,
we try to bottle it up. We try to tell ourselves that this is just life, we gotta man up, but there are certain things that should not be the way they are. And I kind of want to let people see that, through social media, especially on my Facebook. I demonstrate what that looks like. It's not always pleasant. The mindset is not always in a good place, but you have the ability to override what you do with that.
Brother, I thank you so much. Like what you're dropping is it's vital, and the perspective and angle that you're giving is huge, because I follow you, and we're going to encourage, we'll share your pages and share your links to encourage people to also get on board and to support and to follow and to like and share and stuff like that. But it's just we take it for granted, like the amount of things that individuals who are suffering from mental health are going through. No one really understands. We talk about it, and like you said, like we might fluff it up with optimistic words, but without understanding the real of what that person is going through, and without putting tangible things in place to give proper support, and even to go an extra step and to work towards stopping the issue, trying to prevent the issue for the next generation coming up. These are things that we're not doing enough. So you bringing it to the forefront and displaying, like when things are happening and you're going through, it could be as simple as a panic attack. It could be simple as but these are things that the fact that you're taking the time to document the experience as you're going through it, to shed some real light for those. It's like you're creating a voice for the voiceless. You know what I mean? For those who aren't who are suffering in silence. So I appreciate what you're doing, my brother. I think it's something that we don't talk about it enough. We don't shed enough light on the situation. So you and I, we were talking a bit off air, and the vision that you have is really want to create the space, to create a community where people who are suffering can come together and share experiences and know that there's an outlet. All right, so that's on one aspect, but then there's a second component to it where there's connecting with other organizations like the OFC and other groups like that do have support in place to be able to hold you guys. You want to share a little bit more, elaborate a little bit more on the vision?
Yeah, so like you were mentioning, one of these things is to demonstrate this, like to be a voice for not necessarily the voiceless, but those don't even realize that they have a voice, and to let them see it as it occurs, so that they know that whether or not they have something to suffer from, they're not alone. That draws the community in and makes it more comfortable when you realize you're not alone and you could comment on something or feel able to express yourself. But what I'm really interesting is to like working, for instance, with the OFC and gaining support from organizations that directly deal with some of the traumas, some of these contemporary traumas that are only being realized in the last 4 to 5 years, as associated with systemic discrimination or vicarious racism. And they actually have terms like racial-based trauma is a thing. And we don't even really look at that. We look at it as depression. So to find those resources that actually help, not just for the community to have a support, but to actually find a place where they can say, like, they can pinpoint what may actually be their issues. That's another thing I'm looking to do. So,
well, brother, I could tell you like like what I'm looking forward to. Again, you and I were speaking about it. Like, I know throughout the summer, the OFC we're setting up. We have our holistic healing retreat and campground, and we're looking forward to hosting you and other members of the community who do need a space. We're going to work in conjunction to set up this program, set up an activity where you guys could unplug from your current environment. If we need to coordinate for transport to get you guys up there, and set it up and have the culturally adapted health professionals on site as well for you guys. Because from what we've heard, that there's a huge gap there. It's one thing to go get quote unquote help, but if the person you're speaking to can't relate, can't doesn't understand where you're coming from, that's not helping. That doesn't help the situation, just from what we've heard, and so definitely. So like I said, it is something. What you're doing is awesome. I want to just continue to encourage you. Can you share the handles for us, please? So for those who are listening who want to connect and support what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. So it is a little touchy, so I want to make sure that I'm drawing the right people. You can find me on Facebook at deacon.t.adams. Once you're following me on Deacon T. Adams, that's when I share the links to the Tamper Studios page. But you can also find me on Instagram and get the information that's on the Tamper Studio page at dirty_deacon.
Perfect. I'm noting it as well to reshare it. So that's dirty_deacon on Instagram, or Deacon T like Tom Adams.
Yes, that's correct.
On Facebook. And again, like you said, you're what is the term? You're an indie writer. So I'm definitely looking forward to your book. I know you've been putting a lot of work into it. I know we're forever reaching out for people in the community. If we have readers out there, other people who wanna to share and even just support in the process, and because I know we set up different opportunities for little reading groups to kind of read and share perspectives. So if that's something people are interested in, maybe they could reach out to you on your social media.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm glad that you mentioned my book. Like, the journey is about following a publisher with a disorder as he creates this book, but the book itself, all the characters in that book all deal with some kind of trauma, and the way that it's presented, it's the way they try to normalize those behaviors and how it actually affects them in the long run with their responses or reactions to their environment, to what's going on around them. I think it's I should have brought it up more, because we also talk about collective trauma in there, and collective trauma is something that we as melanated people deal with but don't really understand it, because it's brought over by generation to generation, so we kind of see it as a way of life. But you could kind of see that coming out with what's going on with the Ukraine and how we're supporting that effort with Canada. You can see you get a better understanding of what collective trauma looks like. Difference from place to place. But yeah, with regards to the book, I'm hoping that it draws the same kind of attention, or at least lets people feel comfortable in engaging with characters, even if they're fictional characters, that deal with trauma, and even trying to identify them or identify the similarities between these characters and their own issues. that's what I'm looking to do. So yeah,
brother, definitely. And you don't worry about it, because once the book is ready, we're going to have you back on here again. But I want to encourage the community to get in contact with you, to follow, to like, to share, just so that when the book does drop, they could be the first to know, and they could be the first to support and buy it. You definitely know you have the support of the whole Empower Hour team, as well as the OFC Collective. So brother Deacon Adams, I thank you. Brother Deacon Adams, I know it's brother Stephen Walker, but I let also Deacon Adams, just as we discussed the characters in the book. It is or your pseudonym, whatever it is. it is really, it's awesome. It's an honor to have you on the show. I thank you for taking the time of being on here. I know it's not an easy topic to discuss, but again, I thank you for what you're doing, because it's necessary. It's definitely necessary.
Thank you for having me.
Kings and queens, this was the Empower Hour with Pharaoh Freeman, Queen Kaya, and Gina the Great. We are on live every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. and broadcasting Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. on CKUT 90.3 FM. Hopefully you got your dose of entertainment, enlightenment, and empowerment. Subscribe and watch us on empowermtl.com and email us at empowermtl@gmail.com to anonymously be featured on our What's the Tea Mail segment. Stay blessed, black, and highly favored.